Welcome everyone to our Posh podcast. I'm Gabrielle and I'm your host along with my co-host Marcella.
Hello.
And our co-host Gino.
I'm back.
And co-host Bernie.
Hello, hello.
DJ Spider. I don't know what I'm thinking.
That's me.
Sorry. And we have a very special guest today. Everyone that follows us and knows our family, we have our little Jolee as our special guest today. And we are going to be discussing all kinds of things teens have to go through.
Yeah.
Fun.
And teen girls and teenagers in general and what parents should know about it. And she's going to talk about all kinds of things. And before we get started, though, I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that today is 8 years ago that Marcella and Gino's dad passed away. So that's always a really, really hard day in our family. And it's always the leading up to it. And then when the day gets here, it's really hard. And I want to tell them that I'm sorry. And I never know what to do to make them feel better. So how are you guys doing today?
Craving junk food, as always. Always around this time. I always crave junk food.
Do you really?
Yep.
Because that's all their dad ate.
Yep.
So everything's justified today. It's a dozen donuts. It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Gallon of ice cream tonight.
You know what? I'm going to do it in honor of y'all.
Thank you.
I'm going to be eating a bunch of crap. Be good. So being 8 years now, I mean, how is it now as opposed to, I mean, obviously it was tougher then, but I've got to imagine you think more good thoughts now than the tough part of it. I mean, I'm sure
it's a
still
new
tough,
normal.
but, yeah.
That's what I always tell people. I'm like a new normal. You just kind of get used to it. I think I'm good about that with like Father's Day, birthday, Christmas, like all that stuff. Today is always hard for me because I was there. So that's always like, I have like these, I'll close my eyes and I'm like, stop. And I have these like morbid like visuals, but that's always hard for me today.
I just always try not to think about it. That's
or being busy is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can only imagine for sure. When my brother passed, I mean, 12 years ago, it's when his birthday comes around. I mean, it's not as emotional because it's the new norm. It's completely the new norm. But you still, reminisce and think about it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so
I said I was talking to my best friend on the phone and I said, do you think that when we go to heaven, we get to see everyone like that has touched our life or been in our life? Or do we get to make that choice? And she was like, I don't know. That's a good question. I was like, I wonder. It kind of fascinates me, that stuff, because nobody could tell you. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure some of the people who touch our lives in bad ways are in hell right there.
I don't want to see them.
A little fuel to the fire for those people.
I have taken all the videos that I've had from that time and I've sent it into iMemories, which is a company that will transfer all your videos to digital. So we all have the app. They all have to log in if they want to watch it. They see it all.
It's pretty funny.
It's very funny sometimes. Marcella especially starts sending stuff.
So I can imagine you guys have a ton of videos. So how do you figure out which one, like how long is the whole video?
She has to pick, and this is good for anybody.
For this company?
Yeah, no, for what you just said, you sent it in about like videos.
You can do 8mm VHS, any kind of video you have, and they charge you per video. And you send it into them, they send you back the originals, and then you have it all online.
So now really?
Mm-hmm. It's
so
very, very
how
cool.
long is the master video you put together? Or is it just...
It's not a master video,
it's all
per
like
date.
in dates and like folders
that's
for
cool.
you.
Mm-hmm.
It's super
Dude, that's
crazy.
really cool.
And especially because of VHS, you don't know what's on it.
VHS, I've heard that in so long.
Yeah, so
God.
she'll send in a box and then she'll be like, oh my God, I think they're up. So you log in. I have the app on my phone. And then literally
that's cool.
Videos of me like when I'm like 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really
crazy.
funny. And my mom with her really heavy Austrian accent then.
Thick.
Oh my God, I want to hear this for sure.
And I said it's weird to see my mom and her friends at the age I am now or younger than I am now, like partying and like.
That's so funny.
So if anybody needs video, I always tell people about iMemories.
iMemories
pretty cool.
Favorite, yeah.
It's funny because my mom, she's Puerto Rican, and she has a super thick Hispanic accent. To me, it's very normal, and people will tell me, "I love your mom's accent."
Yeah.
I don't hear it. I just hear my mom talking.
We hear hers.
Do you still hear hers?
Oh yeah.
I don't hear hers
I don't hear it now.
Jolie doesn't.
I don't.
I do, but I really don't. I think I'm used to just the way you talk. Yeah. So that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's a good. iMemories is so cool if you want anything. Even the little discs, because wasn't that a thing at one point?
Yes, but they don't. The only thing they don't do is those floppy disks. They will not do that. There's an extra attachment that I actually just bought because I have a lot of memories of Jolee when she was little on floppy disks.
That is
that
crazy. I forgot all about
thing.
the floppy disk and 8
So I had to buy an attachment because I want to get all her stuff up too because like I feel like she'll feel left out. She's so behind everybody.
She's like, I don't care, Mom.
So anyways, that is that. And we'll always remember him because he was absolutely a character like no other. And he makes me laugh. I love thinking about all the positive things.
Yeah, and one day we'll do the mafia story.
We will.
I really want to hear that. I've been waiting for that one.
I said I would do it on 150th show. This is, I think, our 149th show, but I doubt I will. Not, I just don't think
too much
can.
to go through, I think. But some of the videos on iMemories, there's videos of my dad and my godfather, my godfather is who was in
he was like a mafia boss.
Was he the one who's the really big guy?
Yeah, the big guy. And
I want to hear these stories really badly.
And there's videos of them together, and it just makes me laugh because they just look like such trouble. And then my dad with his comedy, New York heavy accent, and then this big guy that it's just really, they just look like trouble.
There's this video she's talking about where he's getting married again for the third time, and their dad is standing next to him, basically trying to talk him into taking off, running away.
I don't know if I should say smart man on that one or what.
Yeah. And you can see my dad, because he was such like a little shithead, like always like making these like comments. And you can actually see him thinking of like, what's a good comment? And he's like, you want to make a run for it real quick? Like, I'll hold you. I'll like help you out or something. It's just so like, he's just a little shithead. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's very crazy. So on that note, I think I want to jump right into welcoming Jolee. And I'm so glad she's here. She's the little one of the family. And I wanted to just see how you feel being the baby of the family, having
I love
these
it.
older siblings. You love it?
I have so many friends who have younger siblings, and they all are not as close with them as I am with mine. So I like having older ones.
I will say, I just seen the dynamic. It's really unique. I see that as the positive. It's very unique that you guys are so seriously close. That's not the norm at all. So it's cool though.
Yeah, they are all within each other so close, which is so cool to me, obviously, as a parent.
How far apart, especially Jolee and I, a lot of people have been like, I mean, that's so far apart. Like, are you guys close? I'm like, oh my God, it's like my child. She's like, we're so close. But I think it helped that she danced with me too for so long.
Do you still dance?
Not really.
No?
Well,
No.
she dances a
little bit, but more singing now.
Really?
Yes.
I've seen tons of videos. I've never heard any of your singing stuff. Do you do?
She's got pipes.
Really?
Well, it's brand new, kind of.
Yeah.
This is like a new thing.
I just started like less than a year ago. So.
Really? What are you gonna do with it?
Well, I'm trying to get into a girl group right now. So.
And she plays guitar.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Sorry, I'm finding all the cool stuff about you guys. That's
she's
cool.
actually did a boot camp for a girls group, a brand new girls group that they're forming here in Dallas, and they're doing another boot camp in about a week or so, and there's 3 days and then 2 days, and then after that she finds out if she made it. So
what's that time frame from when you started to when you should find out? Like how long? Is it a couple weeks?
This is months. They started about 5 months. They have been doing this boot camp, a minimum of.
Really?
Yeah, and they have worked really hard, and then they had some serious auditions, and at this point they want 5 girls and they only have 4.
How many have they auditioned?
They auditioned 8.
I thought there was like 12.
Well, at the beginning, but not all of them auditioned.
Oh, okay.
So what's their so what's the obviously then goal is to get a group going, right? So is there like a contract involved with it? Like are they planning on taking the 5 and making it to a mainstream, like a big deal?
That's what we had a meeting last night, and
that's a long meeting.
They were literally saying the sky is the limit. Depends all on the girls how far they want to go.
Yeah.
They will take them there. So
will you sign my neck now? I'll tattoo it on.
I told her, I'm like, okay, well, I'm your choreographer and your stylist.
I'll be your bodyguard.
Dang it.
I'll be your bodyguard.
Gino,
No,
what are
I'm
you
out.
gonna be?
We'll do it together, man.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you need more than one.
We'll have you, myself, and Ralph. We'll all 3 of us
Yeah.
be your
there you
bodyguard.
go.
they'll know who to target first out of the 3 of us.
So Ralph and I were at a concert a couple weeks ago. We were at a group called the Spasmatics.
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And so the lead singer came down to the crowd, and we're fans. So we were there just for the show, and there's a bunch of people around trying to take pictures. And these girls stopped my brother. They're like, "Hey, are y'all the security? Can you get us pictures of them?"
Oh, that's
No
funny.
way.
It was really funny.
You should have been like, yeah, sorry.
I know. I told Ralph, I'm like, why didn't you tell him yes?
I get that all the time.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you do.
You look like the dangerous one who really knows how to
Yeah.
kick the crap out of somebody.
scrappy
right? The
one.
All
scrappy,
the moves.
smaller one
Yeah.
who knows how to really drop
Yeah.
somebody.
I know
Thank
this
you, Bernie.
sounds crazy, but Gino at Sambuca in Plano, Shops of Legacy, got into a bar fight.
When?
And he got a shirt ripped
Look
off.
at Jolie's face.
I did not know about this.
What happened?
He was talking about my mom.
This guy wouldn't leave my mom alone. And so I deflected it by just talking to him, trying to get to know him, diffuse it. And he was just a big scumbag. And then it's a big place and
Yeah.
he wouldn't go away. So it got crazy.
So what are you doing while this is happening?
She's helping him,
That's
pulling me backwards.
Oh my
What
God.
are you doing?
so wait.
So his shirt was ripped, everything. I mean, this
No
was
kidding.
serious.
My top was off.
dude, that's crazy. I need to come out with you guys for entertainment, God.
Oh, that's
That would
It's really funny.
that's crazy. Congratulations on your first fight.
Thank you.
I wish there was a video of that.
I would like to see that.
I
video.
wasn't there. I think I had left, and then I get videos of like Gino's like shirt ripped open.
And this was how long ago?
What happened? Probably 2 years
2
ago.
years.
Dude, that's
Probably about.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
He hasn't-
Thank you.
I don't think you've gotten any more fights.
You're a
Thank
lover, not a
God.
fighter.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's funny.
Don't hit the
So
face.
UFC is
Jolee,
my backup.
Yes.
There you go.
tell us, what are your favorite moments of our family?
Oh no. There's a lot. I especially like Marcella's moments.
Can you
Those are
elaborate on
always
that? Can you share some of those?
Well, like Marcella's not a natural blonde, but she is in a way. She has some moments.
That's really funny.
We call them MM moment.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of those. Just a couple.
those are always funny. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my
What
head.
about your least? Are there any least favorite moments of us as a family?
No.
No, well, that's
I
good.
love them all.
She's like, is this a trick question?
Well, we never fight, so it's not like I'm ever.
That's the most awesome part. What do you think of our family vacations?
Those are my favorite. We haven't had one in a long time, but
Those
we're
are
going now.
my favorite too. I watch them on like Instagram and everything. I'm so jealous. Like,
We're about to go.
I know.
Yeah.
We're going to
Family now.
Galveston.
Are y'all?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Road
just took
trip.
Jet. Ralph and I took our kids there. It was
Right.
awesome. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
We're going to stay at the St. Louis Resort with everybody. And I said, it's going to be great because that place, if Gino feels like flirting, he can flirt. If it doesn't feel like flirting, it doesn't have to. He can just hang out with his sister. It's a big party pool.
Yeah.
So it's really, really fun. It's exciting. Or you could just do the beach. You relax, whatever you want to do. It's a fun place.
They feed you frozen grapes.
Really? Dude, frozen grapes are good. They're so good. I don't think too many people do that. They're really good though.
They're
Oh
really
my
good.
God, I love
Galveston's
it.
really cool. They've done a ton to it, and
Yeah.
it was really nice when we went there with our
It's
kids.
so different than it used to be. But
Oh, yeah.
like all the hurricanes that roll through there, like reshape the beach and stuff every time. It seems like.
I haven't been in a while, so this will be interesting.
So let's just talk about Jolee. Being a teenager in 2019 brings all kinds of new and exciting and crazy and scary things, really. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask you, when you were younger, we used to own a dance studio. People that follow us know about Prestige Dance and Performing Arts Center. And because I was so busy working there and Marcella was the director of the studio, you had no choice in the matter of what you were going to do for extracurricular activities. So you were basically forced to dance.
Yeah.
And I think there were many hard moments when you did that with friends. And what was it like to be the owner's daughter and the director's sister? That had to be hard, huh?
I mean, it was in a way of people always kind of bullying me in a way, which was always kind of not fun for me because I loved to dance, but it's kind of the bullying and how mean the dance world really is that made me quit.
Mm-hmm.
So they bullied you at the dance studio?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Wow.
Well, girls are rough anyway. I feel like maybe teenage girls are more rough now, I would think. And then I think she got a lot of they're just mean to her.
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff when you're the owner's daughter and the director's sister. I think that there's a lot of using going on. Like,
Man,
people, I feel like were using her to get special treatment
Closer to me.
closer to her. And
That sounds about right from my experience with Dance Moms.
Poor Spider has heard all of it.
So, and through that, I mean, it was really, 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 really hard times for her because she was in this one group that was very competitive. They were winning a lot, and kids were just super mean. And like, I know Jolee is a happy kid all the time, but there was this tiny little moment of her life where she was like really stressed out because of them, because how they were treating her or leaving her out, or
like they would do like the social media leaving out. Like they would tell her something and then they'd all post Snapchat.
Yeah.
And then she'd find out like that.
That's painful to even hear that because I have a 7-year-old and I know that I see a little bits and pieces of my son get. I mean, it's just kids, right? But man, you want to choke a kid out.
Well, especially your kid.
That's
I think
the whole thing.
knowing from her and like you feel your child's pain. Like she would always tell us, like when you hurt, this is always funny to me because she'd be like, when you hurt, I hurt 10 times worse. I'm like, no, you don't. You do not hurt worse.
Not at all. This hurts, baby.
But I think I can understand that you want to protect your kid. So to see them like suffer because of some other kid, you're probably like, beat that kid's ass.
I can say from pure experience, that's exactly right. 100%.
And how you can't do that. So
Yes, you can.
drop kick the kid.
He fell on his own. I don't know.
Exactly.
It was also hard because I was homeschooled and I did not have any other group of friends. So it was only those friends. And like, I didn't have any other friends. So it was hard.
when they all turned on you,
Yeah.
because those were best friends from when she was like 2 years
That's
old.
crazy. That's wow. So what made you decide to homeschool her? What was the whole
Well,
rationale on that?
Gino was homeschooled for a big part of his life, and then Jolee went to private school, and in 4th grade,
It was the middle of 5th grade.
middle of 5th grade, she asked to be homeschooled. So
What made you decide to go? You weren't homeschooled, right?
That's probably why.
It's like, we're not making that mistake again. You guys are staying right home. So what made you decide?
I did 3 years of homeschool,
What grades?
9th, 10th, and 11th. So a lot of it was sports related. It wasn't just home. It was traveling for sports and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Tennis?
Baseball and tennis. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I heard that they have like homeschool, what's the word? Like homeschool proms where different people,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And all that
big
stuff.
time. Yep.
That's
Homeschool
interesting.
today is not like it was years ago.
How is
like,
it? What's the difference?
It's more online now.
Really?
It's like,
Like college then. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess
That's
like
crazy.
a college course.
Mhm.
Like
But-
my academy that I teach at, there's over 25 kids that are homeschooled.
I
and-
teach a lot of homeschool kids as well.
Yeah.
So, but what made you decide to put Gino to do the homeschool route?
He asked me to. He asked me
Really?
to be
But I
homeschooled.
asked.
No, but okay.
I'm so confused.
She didn't want her name attached to your education.
She's like, no, go to school. I'm like, I distinctly remember
asking to go to homeschool and wanting to skip school. They're too totally different.
True, which I did that a lot.
So back then, I didn't know anything about it. When he asked, one of my best friends homeschooled all her kids. So I was like, well, let me ask how this works. And then
the first kid is like a test run. Like, let's see how this goes.
That one failed really bad. We'll try this route.
By the next two, it's good. We're good to go.
Oh my gosh, you
Gino,
guys.
did you like homeschooling?
Yes. And I wasn't home that much. It's very deceiving saying homeschool. Like, especially when I was in tennis, I was literally on a tennis court training like 8-10 hours a day. And then I would part-time work there when I wasn't training. And then
You were very involved in church as well.
yeah,
You were
I would
always there.
volunteer, like all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people hear homeschool and they picture the kids that don't talk and don't
That's
like,
exactly
Yeah.
what I honestly, that's,
and
I
all
don't
they
know.
do are in books and they don't like talk and they're not social, but it's totally opposite.
But
for
I
the most
think
part.
Jolee too, she goes to a performing arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what grade are you in now?
I'm going to be a sophomore.
I
So
feel old right now. Oh my gosh. And you've been homeschooled your entire schooling, or?
I've been homeschooled since the middle of 5th grade. So
Wow.
for a long
You
time.
enjoyed it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Of
a lot
course she
better.
does. Just wake up, do whatever the hell you want.
not like that.
It's not like that. I still have to wake
So-
up at 6:30 like any other kid would for school stuff.
I have always said that I love homeschool so much because the kids in high school, they go through a lot of like bullying,
Yeah.
people make whatever it is. And when they're homeschooled, I feel like they get to be who they would be. They get to really grow into their own personality and who they are. And once they go to college, it doesn't matter anymore.
I think you guys are the unicorn family, swear to God, because you really do. I think you have such a great mix with your brother, your sister, and your mom. I'm serious. Because I know, like, when I was in high school, I went to private school my entire life. Then I went to college, and I went to a very strong, like, Pentecostal Assembly of God
high
Christian
school.
school. It was very hellfire brimstone. And when I went to college, all the stuff that I thought was told was bad and this and that, I didn't have that even balance. It wasn't as bad as I thought was told it was, and I went crazy. So I think it's good that you have a good balance of. I mean, I really think y'all are a unicorn family.
But that's also coming from a really strict environment.
Very.
She's not that strict on the things that. Oh, I don't know how to say it. Like, she's strict, but she's not. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I totally get that with y'all. No, y'all really do. I think y'all have such a great balance.
I don't
with your
think, like,
family.
it depends on how they are, to be honest with you. Like, Marcella probably, I was the strictest with her because, I don't know.
Oh, how that worked out. All right.
I mean, Gino, I was strict because I didn't ever have to be. He just made such good decisions. And Jolee, so far, same thing. It's like
I had to call every like stop sign. Like, where are you now? Like, thank God there was not like
funny.
a tracker on the phone then.
Man.
You feel me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He already does. He acts like an angel right now.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
but I wanted to, like, whenever Jolee was going through that really hard time with her friends, there was like one moment where they literally spent the night one night and were best friends with her. And then we went to the State Fair of Texas and everything was great. And the very next day, till today, they have never spoken to us again. I would call, I would go, what are you guys doing? Like, where are you going for dance? Because they used
This
to
is
be
a family,
group,
like
a group
Group
that
of girls.
supposed to
Really?
be a family. And no
Wow.
one answered my phone calls. And then we found out that they all as a group went to a different dance studio and left her out completely. So that
Wow.
day, as a mom, I was like, okay, I called. She went to this performing arts conservatory for a few months the year before. And so I called that school. It was middle of the year already. And I said, hey, is there any way Jolee can join? And Dana, who runs the studio and the school, was like, yeah, let me figure it out. And we got her in, I think, 2 days later.
Yeah.
And that changed her life, I think, because tell everyone what that school is like and what that did for you.
It really is a family there, and everyone there is nothing like the dance people at all. So it's kind of more of a family there. But I mean, I haven't experienced anything horrible there. Like I have a dance, so I wouldn't know if they are actually like that. But
it's been good.
yeah, it's been awesome. I love it so much.
Was it dramatically different from the other school?
Than my home school?
No, the one you're at now, the dance studio.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's held at a dance studio, so I still see some of the dance kids, and every time I'm like,
do y'all not talk at all?
I haven't spoken to any of them.
There's several of them
how long's
that
that
used
been?
to go to our dance studio, and they now are at that dance studio, and they just roll their eyes at her and stuff. It's so stupid.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, nothing happened. Like, we didn't do anything to anyone. So
It and if anybody is interested in this school, by the way, Dana and Scott, the owners of this school, were on our podcast talking about it.
it's podcast 30-ish.
30-ish.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I should
that
know
was
that.
early on.
Yeah,
that was the
really
first one we
early.
did video for, I think.
Like,
No
go
idea.
listen. And it's if you have a performer, especially, it's a performing arts school. They do school half a day, and then the second half they do performing arts. They do music, instruments,
That's what I was going to ask. What's all, so
instruments, singing, acting, and dance.
where's the school at?
South Lake. I drive from Plano because it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it is an amazing place. The school is an amazing place. They have amazing teachers on staff. She didn't like to study very much when she was at home, but once she went there, she is now a straight A student. Like, they are just very good about teaching them time management and everything. It's great.
How many days a week is you go to class there?
5 days a week.
5.
So you drive to South Lake 5 days a week?
Yep.
Wow.
We usually take one day off.
Sometimes. I'm like, I'm
That's a
sick
serious
of driving
commitment.
today.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
But she could, like, what's cool about it too, you can go travel, you can go out of the country. Like, if they have auditions or if they have performances, whatever, you can go anywhere in the world and still do your school.
So with that being said, auditions like all over the world and stuff like that, like obviously for a performance of some sort, but like what kind of magnitude of performances are these auditions for?
Well, one of them is on tour in London right now.
Seriously?
Yeah, like they have
One of her best friends, yeah.
One of their students is, I mean, you wouldn't probably know who this is, but his name is Todrick Hall. He's a very famous.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know that. That's weird. But he's more.
He's on my other neck.
He's probably one of the more famous. I mean, when they came on, you know, they have their past students who are in movies and Disney, and
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess I never put 2 and 2 together. It makes sense now.
Yeah,
but
They
talking
also
about
they get crazy scholarships to colleges. I mean, they have a really good record.
it. Wow.
And one of Jolee's best friends from the school is actually on her way. I mean, she has a full EP that she just went on tour performing in front of all kinds of fans in London.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
so it gives them the freedom. You know, if they go to a normal high school, no school would let them miss. I mean, you're absent. You can only have so many. So it gives them, if they want to be performers, actors, or anything like that, they have the freedom to just be on
That's
tour.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So through this performance school, that you decided you wanted to start singing, and so you're diving headfirst into singing.
Yes. I've been singing for less than a year, and I'm getting like
Obsessed.
yeah, but
Dude,
I
that's awesome.
have no free time next year. I'm going to be at my vocal school every day except for Sunday, right?
Yeah,
That's literally the only day I won't have.
But I say it's good for teenagers to be busy. I work with a lot of kids, and I think the worst thing you can let teenagers especially do is give them free time.
Yeah.
Because they get bored and then they go to parties. And because I was always the one, like, it was so, at the time, people would be like, don't invite Marcella because she has dance. You know, I was like the girl who I didn't go to house parties, and I didn't do those things because I was so busy, but I didn't get into trouble in high school. And I think, I don't know, working with a lot of kids, the kids that have free time are trouble.
Well, but then again, you know, with that being said, if you're in a performance or an arts performance, a top-notch rated one, and you're serious at this point, you have to put those hours in. There's like the
Focus,
very few people who can. No, I don't think I've heard of anyone who didn't put crazy hours into developing that talent and getting it better and better. So,
Really, anything. I mean, when you think about it, work, I mean, anything takes, you have to put in the work. Nothing comes easy.
yeah, for sure.
And you have to practice at home. You have to if you really want to be something special, you have to do all the work for it.
It's definitely a commitment.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the author, but I was reading a book at one point. And he was talking about the 10,000 hour rule, and it was when you decide to do something. Yeah, once you hit, you should 10, be a professional once you hit 10,000
really?
hours.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I never heard that before.
The students at my academy are supposed to read that book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard.
I want to say it's Malcolm
10,000 hours.
10,000. When you can do something for 10,000 hours, you are a professional.
Really?
How many hours are you in?
I'm not sure.
We got 9,000 hours left. That's crazy. Wow.
That is amazing. So at this point, we're going to go into, in the second hour of our podcast, we're going to go into more detailed points of teenagers and teenage stuff that they're going through in 2019. But before we go to that, we are going to call Miss Polly today and ask her a couple questions about teenagers.
Theme music.
No music today.
We're not playing today.
We're not playing the jingle today. Miss Polly, we have Jolee on as a special guest today.
Hi.
and we're talking about, and I know you remember some of this, we were talking about all Jolee's struggles at the dance studio when the girls were so mean to her.
Yes.
Yeah, and how horrible that was. And we're just talking in general now about all kinds of, I want to know from you, how can teens not fall into peer pressure?
So I kind of think that, because it's been a while since, I dealt with teen peer pressure. And I think peer pressure has changed in a lot of ways, especially with the advent of social media and the fact that bullying is so much, there's so many different avenues they can bully you on. It's not a face-to-face thing anymore.
Right.
In that regard. And I came from a small town, and it was more along the lines of, you were considered a bad person if you had sex before,
What?
It's just a totally different world. So
what are the statistics about teen sexual activity these days?
Well, I looked up, especially, from the CDC, because that's really who handles a lot of that information. And we're looking at 55% of male and female teens have had intercourse before the age of 18.
55%?
Which is kind of scary. 55%.
What was it before?
I think the previous was like 41 to 42%.
Oh, wow. So it's going up majorly.
Well, there are like I'm sorry, but my best friend sent me a girl's Instagram. She goes, "This is my new favorite 13-year-old to stalk." And this girl is looks like she's 25 and like a thong and like, ugh. I mean, I think social media is
what are the parents? I always wonder, what are the parents doing?
Yeah, where are the parents? I wonder the same thing.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you consider what they're posting.
Right.
And a lot of these glam shots and makeup tutorials and clothing is, and I know it's just hypersexual in a lot of ways. And I don't think that's a bad thing when you've reached, 18, 19, but you're an adult at that point, even though, it's just, I think girls are growing up so quickly, and they've been asked to grow up so quickly.
Right.
And it's hard because you have other teens that are like, oh, what do you mean you haven't gone all the way? What are you waiting for? You don't just get it out of the way and just, you're going to lose your boyfriend if you don't. I mean, there's ways to stop that from happening and to
your high school boyfriend.
Yeah. Jolee would be like, bye.
Well,
Keep that attitude.
Well, and that's good. Because here's the thing, not every person your age is having sex. Even when somebody feels like everybody else is doing it. Not everybody is.
Right.
You know?
And what are the dangers of sexually transmitted diseases that when I was researching teenage stuff, I saw that is like getting out of control.
What's it?
It is.
Man, really?
Mm-hmm.
HPV is probably the number one sexually transmitted disease is HPV, the human papilloma virus.
What's the percentage on that?
There's also, of course,
What's the percentage of that of HPV?
That I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to look up a little bit more.
Now, is it in general that HPV, or are you talking about with teens?
Actually, one of the five most common. It's is blah 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 blah. Most common amongst teens because what I hate to admit is that they don't use birth control or condoms, okay? Because they don't know how to get them or they don't know where to get them.
You think it's out of embarrassment a lot of times also? Like just embarrassed to talk about it?
Of course. Yes.
I found
they're embarrassed to talk about it.
Well, we've talked about it before.
Especially
I feel
with
like,
their parents.
the parents that are the most like strict about it and don't have open dialogue with their kids are the worst kids.
Right.
And I can speak from actually speaking to kids who had really strict parents.
Right.
And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Stressful.
So, Jolee,
so they're the ones that are doing everything.
Yeah.
So do you have friends who, I mean, I don't know if do your friends have these kind of conversations?
One of my friends had a boyfriend before and she told like the entire school that they had that. And then I was like, we all thought that she was crazy. Like none of us were like, oh, you're so cool. All of us were like, you're literally insane.
The awesome thing though is like, how many kids are at your school?
20. 18 to 20
so
kids.
Okay.
They're it's so small. So you don't have that like,
but that's why this school is so amazing.
Well, she probably doesn't have quite the peer pressure that a bigger school would have.
Right. That's why we love it so much.
20 people in class.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Remember, I went to private school
But
I went to private school my entire life, and I felt like, my graduating class was 18 people.
And,
so really?
Small
So small too.
And there were more like dirty, skanky girls. I'm serious, yes. Because just like you said, Marcella, that the stricter parents tended to have the kids that were the worst. And,
I think it's more the uptight. Like sometimes strict, like you have to kind of see what you're strict about. Like it's like, I feel like the uptight parents that can never talk about anything or that have no relationship anymore once the kids turn into teenage. Like they don't talk to them at all. There's like no way of, they don't feel comfortable talking,
Well, I think the other thing about it is that to talk about sex or anything like that, that's very taboo. I mean, it's uncomfortable more for parents than I'm serious. You guys are a unicorn family for sure, but that's a great thing because I feel pretty confident in assuming that if Jolee, you had questions, you could feel confident talking to your sister or your mom. Or maybe even your brother about it. I'd say more your sister or your mom. But,
I think Gino would be a little bit stressed about it.
I'm stressed now.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
On that note, we're going to go to our question of the day.
You can play that theme music.
The two Posh girls ask the question of the day.
Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. Have I asked this before? I hope not.
Oh, God.
We're about to find out.
Where would you live if you could pick anywhere in the world?
Live.
Move to, live.
So there's...
Jolee knows. She has an
Where would you
answer.
live?
I have always loved California, so somewhere in California for sure.
Now remember, you can live anywhere in the world.
And especially for what I want to do in like singing and stuff, it's a very good place for that. So always been California.
So now here's a question before I make my answer. Do I have like unlimited resources financially to do it? Or is it just...
Basically, I mean, if you...
Could, like if your life let you.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Where would you go, Miss Polly?
I would probably live in Scotland.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow, really?
Wow.
I'd pick that or Waco.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like Waco, Texas.
Weatherford, Texas. No, I'm just kidding.
Really young. I would probably live in Scotland.
Scotland, that would be cool.
Just,
That's interesting.
Where would you go?
You go.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many options now. I mean, if I could pick it, I would probably, like, a bucket list is Australia. But then I think about something like, I've heard phenomenal things about Hong Kong.
To live?
I've heard it's unbelievable.
live?
That's what I've heard
For
from
real?
a few friends of mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And but I would probably do somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure where. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Like if I could go anywhere, just for a complete cultural change, like like financial resources were unlimited. There's a lot of places I would go to. I heard Greece is really supposed to be pretty badass, but I mean I've never been. So
Yeah.
all right, where would you go?
California.
Y'all are so boring. Wow. Y'all are so boring. Gino, tell me you have something different than California.
He hates California.
All right.
I don't hate California, but I would never want to live there.
Where would you go?
Okay, so if I could live anywhere, honestly, I would. If unlimited finances,
Yeah.
I would want to live here and then just travel all the time. I would want this to be my central hub, and I want to go travel and visit.
And like
tons of
have
places.
houses everywhere.
Why not? If
Oh, yeah.
like,
Well,
But that just
I'd
answers
want-
it totally different than what she just said.
I'm like, wait, hold on. That's
If
totally
you want a
different.
gazillion dollars, that makes
Way,
sense.
you know?
but I like. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go and get a complete culture shock. I don't
Me neither.
like. I don't want to personally want that. I get how that's very alluring and that's awesome, but I don't know. I don't think I'd want that personally.
So if there were no earthquakes, I would live in LA in
What
a
on
heartbeat. I love it there. I
What do
love
you love about it?
Malibu. I love everything about it. It's a
California's pretty
feeling.
awesome.
It's awesome.
It's a way of how they live. They
yeah.
live so healthy. There's
There's always something to do. And
It
that's
is
my biggest complaint
beautiful.
about Dallas.
And then I would have to talk Gino into coming with us. So we're all together.
I remember the first time I went out to what's that, Miss Polly?
She's laughing.
Oh, I think it was-
No, I'm just laughing.
I went the first time I went to Orange County, and I went out there, and I remember some of the houses. There was obviously some crazy mega mansions on the beach,
Precious.
but I mean, amazing. But then I remember seeing these houses that were $1.5 million that looked like shitholes.
Oh, yeah.
total
Oh, yeah.
crap holes. And I
crazy.
remember thinking that's stupid until
You said unlimited money. That's what I'm talking about.
he's not finished. He said until.
But the thing that made those crappy looking houses so appealing was the weather was ridiculous. There was no AC anywhere because it wasn't needed.
No.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, my best friend's condo didn't have AC when I went to see her.
In San
the
Diego,
cost
right?
of living is so insane there. But again,
Insane.
unlimited resources.
So then
just
it
in
doesn't
general.
matter.
Yeah.
So
for
that is the biggest problem is the cost of living if you're like don't have the resources
Yeah.
to do it because it gets really tough. Like my best friend she's like, what am I going to do? Like if I don't have this or a certain job or anything like that, it can be tough.
She lives in LA now.
She lives in San Diego. But see, I wouldn't live in LA. That's crazy. I would not live in
I
LA.
would want to live in Malibu. Or
I want to live in Calabasas.
Yeah, there you go.
Shoot. Y'all got some serious taste right there. Truly unlimited resources. for
Malibu
sure.
is beautiful. I do love San Diego as well.
Calabasas would be pretty.
Yeah.
If I'm going
Yeah.
exotic, an island.
Hawaii.
Pop me on an island.
That's another one for me, Hawaii.
I've
She
never
didn't
been to
like
Hawaii. I heard
Hawaii.
it's huh?
She didn't like it.
I heard it's
I-
amazing out there.
I think Hawaii is beautiful, but it's not more beautiful than other places. It's far to get to. I've always said it. I'm the furthest away from Austria, where I'm from, so that makes it not as appealing to me.
I loved it.
It was beautiful, beautiful places, and we were with the greatest people, so we had a great time. So, but
Your people can make any trip good.
that
or
is
bad.
true.
I was
So,
not there, so it wasn't great for them.
This trip sucks. It was a horrible trip.
kidding.
Spider, where would you want to live?
Probably somewhere in South America.
Where?
Nowhere specific, just South
Oh.
America somewhere.
How come?
I like it down there.
Really?
You been?
Yeah, I went to Carnival one year when I was in college.
No way.
It was so awesome.
I heard that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've
heard
wanted
it's
to go to
legit.
that actually.
I heard it's unbelievable.
I have too.
It's a massive party.
Yeah, that looks fun to me. And
Well,
I'd dress up.
On that note, you guys,
And I dress up.
everyone, thank
I
you
put
for
clothes on.
listening, and we will be back soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for